Welcome everyone to second and third grade. My name's Maura, Cullen, and I'm the teacher for both of these classes. In second and third grade, it's a really cool year because you're making that switch from learning how to read to reading to learn. And in second grade, we're finishing up that Abeka phonics program that you do in kindergarten and first grade, and you're finishing up those special sounds. So those are those phonetic spellings that are put together in certain words to form words. And I'll show you a little bit tour of our room in a second. We have currently a special soundboard right now, and today we did EIGH, and so we have EIGH makes A. Every time we see that, we circle it, so we know whenever we see EIGH, it makes that A sound. So students can use those types of words and those types of special sounds to form words more appropriately and use those kind of context clues. But once you hit third grade, we get to make that really cool switch for reading to learn and doing all types of grammatical skills and being able to reformat sentences and do different quotation marks and even diagram them. And at St. Thomas in both of these grades, we have an Abeka phonics and grammar program, but we also have 3 different reading curriculums that we rotate among. The first one is Maura Press series, and second grade starts off with doing Animal Folktales of America, and it's all these different little short stories. And we talk about the difference between these types of stories versus historical fiction, because right now we are switching over to Prairie School, which is more historical fiction based. Later on in the year, we'll do a couple other stories. And then in third grade, we started off in the year with Bear Named Paddington, and then we're currently moving on to Mr. Popper's Penguins. For both second and third grade, we use study guides as well to be able to go through them, remember some of the comprehension questions, make down notes. Our second reading program that we use is called the Junior Great Books program. It's Socratic based, and so we have different short stories with different themes. This one's on friendship, there's another one on responsibility, and based off of those themes, we have a focus question that we're trying to answer throughout the entire segment. And that's one part about classical education. It's all about wondering and trying to find answers to questions. And at the end of the unit, we have a Socratic seminar where students can have different conversations trying to answer this question. I have been absolutely amazed at the types of conversations that these students can have. They are learning how to use constructive feedback to each other, answer each other's questions, question each other's ideas, and just seeing that ability to communicate thoroughly with one another is incredible at this age to be able to see this. When we finish up that, we also just started the new Theology of the Body unit. And at this age, we read The Quiltmaker's Gift around Advent time. And then we do St. George and the Dragon more around his feast day, but they're based off of the times of the liturgical year that they would match. But it's all about finding the human dignity in other people and loving your enemies, loving yourself, loving your neighbor, just being sure that you see everyone's made in God's image and likeness. And so it's a really cool program to try to promote, especially when it was all about the gift of generosity and how you can give yourself to others. It was all during Advent and Christmas time. We have a little gift box over here. Every time that we were sharing one of our gifts with someone else, we drew a picture of it. And it's been a really cool experience to try to be a part of that as well. The really cool thing that we do, I'm going to keep you on the tour of the room, is our Iew Writing Program. In second and third grade, it's very poem-based. And so each week we get a new poem. This week it was a Robert Frost poem. We mark this up. And so on the first day we get it, we circle adjectives, we circle nouns, we underline verbs, we box adverbs, and we mark up the whole poem. We star prepositional phrases, just kind of reinforcing that aspect of grammar into other curriculum. Not only that, we also have Sound City, which interacts also with our program. So here's Sound City, and it's all the different phonics sounds that you hear. And we have A-E-I-O-U Street. We just added E-I-G-H today because that's what we did in phonics, but this is also part of writing. We have some digraph delivery trucks. We have airplanes. Oh, you gotta see those. For the words that say air, but they're not. And then we have library for silent words. We have digraph delivery trucks. We have a jail for rules breakers for the words that don't follow any rules. We also have different synonym lists, as you can see up here. We use different words that are frequently used and try to think of some stronger verb actions and verb choices. And so that's part of our literacy program for both of these grades. In science, we use FOSS Science. We're based off of life science, physical science, and earth science. And so we rotate among those three. And we have a little textbook to go with it. And then lastly, we do Saxon math. And so in second grade, the main goal is to do addition and subtraction within 20. And third grade, our main goal is to be able to do our multiplication facts. And another thing in second grade for religion, we are finally doing all the sacraments. It's one of my favorite things to teach. We get to do reconciliation prep right around this time when we have our first reconciliation in February. And then in come April time, we're going to start prepping for that first communion. We have retreats beforehand, and students get really excited to be able to be part of it, and we have a really cool program for those things. And that's about it for our classroom. It's really fun. So I hope to see you all soon.